Now welcome to the last stop on this tour bus, to the top where I was told hard work would lure us. Sure enough, look where I'm headed, the opposite direction of the life that I dreaded.
Yo YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim, he's AC, this is the Cash Gun and AC Sports Report. A lot of crazy stuff going on the YouTube thing right now. I don't know what YouTube is doing, but they continue to screw everything up. Thank you, Google, for doing that. The second series we're previewing here now is the Tigers and the Yankees. And to me, this is the most interesting series out of the first four. You got the Tigers coming off a season where they surprisingly won a ton of games, I think like 95. The Yankees finished with the best record in the American League. All in all, right now, I think that this is a series that you look at and you say, this could be one of the classic series.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of close games coming out of this series. I think this will be a great series to watch, and I definitely think that it will go to the full 5 games because, you know, I look at the Tigers and I look at the Yankees and I think, you know, these are two fairly evenly matched teams, and I know a bunch of Yankees fans just went, oh, but yeah, that's the way it is.
Well, yeah, and Yankees fans got to realize that the Tigers are really close to what they're doing. When you talk about the Yankees' biggest strengths, you certainly don't look at their starting rotation. And if you do, you look at their ACC Sabathia. Well, the Tigers have the best pitcher in baseball, Justin Verlander. And for a Phillies fan to say that Verlander is better than Halladay, that's quite a big thing to say. And then the Yankees have the bullpen. Well, Jose Valverde was like 47 for 47 this year. The lineups. The Yankees lineup's better, but the Tigers have Maglio Ordonez, Miguel Cabrera, Austin Jackson, Johnny Peralta, Victor Martinez. It's a pretty good lineup that you're talking about for the Tigers. And I think that people who say, oh, the Yankees will sweep them, and people that are taking the Tigers lightly are just wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the Tigers, they are a legitimate squad, and, you know, people forget that they clinched their division like a couple of days after the Phillies did. I think they clinched their division with like an 8 or 9 game lead. I mean, that in and of itself is a great accomplishment. I don't care what division you're in. But I mean, yeah, people are definitely underrating the Tigers. That people talk about the lineup as if it's so much worse than the Yankees. But the difference is the Tigers have come through when they needed to. They've been a very clutch team this season, and you know, with Verlander on the mound, at least for 2 of these games, you got to feel confident.
And the one thing I want to get across with the Yankees is that they for sure are not like legit gonna be affected by the one game that they lost the last game against the Rays, where they blew that game. Guess what? Luis Ayala is not going to be pitching in a playoff game. I can guarantee you Luis Ayala is not going to be pitching in a playoff game, and I think that the Yankees bullpen is fine, and there are no concerns as far as that. The Yankees have a stacked lineup. I mean, this is going to be a great series because these teams are pretty close to being even. But the one thing that I look at and I say the Tigers really have the advantage there is the starting rotation.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And that brings me to my X factor, which is the Yankees starters. If they can get it done and they can come up big, especially guys like Ivan Nova, if they can step up and you know, be solid in the postseason, then it's going to be a really, really good series, I think. I got the Yankees in 5 in this one because I see their rotation doing just enough to shut down the Tigers' lineup and the Yankees' bats coming through like they always seem to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting pick. I'm going to go, well, let me give you my X Factor first. My X Factor is a guy who me and AC used to just kind of laugh at him because he has a funny name, Doug Fister. Well, guess what? Since being traded from Seattle in 11 appearances, starts obviously, Fister went 8-1 with a .084 WHIP and a 1.79 ERA. 1.79. Max Scherzer's going to be in there. And I just think overall, when you say that, or when most people think that their lineups are comparable, at least, they might not be exactly equal. I don't think they are. I think that the Yankees actually have a better lineup. But I think that the starting rotation is what wins playoff games and playoff series. So I think in 5, I'm going to take the Tigers. This isn't me hating on the Yankees, but I've looked at the Tigers throughout this entire season, especially the last few months, and I said, I think that that's a team that is going to win the AL pennant. I really do. I look at the Tigers, and I have a lot of big expectations for this team in the playoffs because I think that they have a lot of potential, and people are sleeping on it. Guess what? If you beat the New York Yankees, nobody's going to be sleeping on you afterwards. And I think that's what the Tigers are going to do. I got Tigers in 5, and that 5th game, I think they're going to go down to Detroit, and Justin Verlander is going to beat CC Sabathia for the 2nd time in this series. The thing about the Yankees, and let's look at these pitching rotations comparably, Verlander or Sabathia could go either way. If you're asking me, I want Verlander. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think I'll take the Tigers in Game 1 in that. I mean, Justin Verlander has had the kind of season that comes around once in a generation of pitchers, and he's just been on fire, so it's really difficult to pick against him with anybody.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm not going to be the guy who starts doing it. Now, Game 2, I think, is Ivan Nova for the Yankees against Doug Fister. Normally, with any common sense, I'm going to take Ivan Nova. But the way Doug Fister is pitching right now, until I'm proven wrong, guess who I'm taking? I'm taking Doug Fister. And I think that right now, the Tigers' rotation, if you win the first 2 games of a 3-game series, after that, I don't think it's necessarily important. I think they could win a game with Rick Porcello or Max Scherzer. I don't think they're going to, but it wouldn't surprise me. I think once you come back in that 5th game, I got Justin Verlander. I don't see this guy losing in the playoffs. I think that this is... Certain players just have these amazing years where they just do everything. They win the Cy Young, they go through the playoffs, they carry their team in the playoffs, and I think that that's the type of the year that Justin Verlander's having this year.
I mean, the one reason that I'm still picking against the Tigers is because the Yankees always, somehow, someway, seem to find a way to win that first series. Somehow. I mean, looking at this with Justin Verlander in Game 5, it doesn't look like he's gonna falter, but, I mean, CC, I'll go with CC because he's got a lot of postseason experience, and I don't know. It's hard for me to pick against the Yankees in this series because they always seem to find a way to win in close series like this. So I just want to make that clear that that's the only reason why I'm going with the Yankees. But this is going to be a fun series to watch nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, I really could see going with either team at this point. And it's going to be a series that's going to kick off tomorrow night at 8:00 or 8:37, something like that. Remember, tune in to the Blitz Hardcore podcast. We will have live reaction. The show starts at 11, so this should be just about ending right as we go live. And me and AC will be sitting right in front of the TV watching as we're on the air with you, with Bruce Blitz and everybody else. I think this show is going to be a huge blowout, and you're really going to want to be there because you're going to get all the best baseball news. We're trying to get a few beat reporters on, not having great success because it's just such a busy time for a lot of reporters, but we'll see what we can do. If not, we're taking your calls. We're previewing the NL playoffs, which that's how we're going to do. We're going to preview those on the show, I believe. So you don't get any better baseball coverage than here on the Cash Killing AC Sports Network. Subscribe, do everything because there's nowhere else that you need to go after watching our videos.